Well, hello all. It seems like triple. I almost said triple A because I got done watching triple A. It was a great episode. Very entertaining. Whenever triple A is on, I forget Collision's on. I'm not gonna lie, but this isn't about triple A and Dominic Mysterio and Vikingo. This is about TKO. I don't get how I got TKO and AAA mixed up, but anyways, yeah, as we all know, New Orleans, Louisiana got robbed. They're running it back in Las Vegas. Terrible business move because people weren't going to pay for it, in either way. So what they're doing is blacking out, an affected mile radius, bars and public venues. If you're not going to watch it at home, you got to come watch it in the arena is what they're trying to do. But they doubled down, and now they're blacking out elimination chamber in Chicago because they still haven't learned their lesson. They are determined to drive these fans away with this anti-consumerism garbage. But yeah, according to Wrestle Observer newsletter, the tickets this week are worse than last week, which is not surprising because once you run it back in a place where you got to be very well off to be in the first place, Las Vegas, that's a gamble town, and then you're already draining your pocket just showing up there, let alone spending $50,000 on a ticket. And then you want to bring your family and friends along. So, despite discounted ticket sales, English. Despite discounted tickets over the past weekend, there have appeared to be no movements at the lower price. So if you entered the code word winter, I think it was February 13th through February 16th, you would have gotten a 25% off on your ticket, but that didn't do anything apparently. So the show is down 17,252 in sales. That is sad. That's crazy. That is insane. It's almost like being greedy doesn't get you anywhere. Wow. Who would have known? You mean to tell me that setting these high ticket prices for a product that's not really worth it, a product weekly that doesn't really give you what you pay for, even if you went to a Raw or SmackDown. You mean to tell me that charging up the wazoo, pricing out these people and telling the audience to F off if they have a different opinion than you mean to tell me that won't do well for your business? That's crazy. Wow. Say it ain't so. What you talking about, Willis? You mean to tell 19.3 behind the pace of last year's event. And WrestleMania 41 was probably one of the worst WrestleManias in a long time. I'd say WrestleMania 32 was pretty bad too. So now they're doing the same thing for Elimination Chamber. It's like one of those people who hurt your feelings by saying something rude. And then as soon as you say, yeah, that hurt my feelings, that wasn't cool, they say, yeah, well, I'm sorry, but I can't apologize. I can't afford to look weak. So they acknowledge their mistakes. And then I've seen this defense already. How are you going to speak out against this? But Vince is doing the exact same thing, or he did the exact same thing. And I'm like, okay, well, for WrestleMania 31, that was like 11 years ago almost. He did that once. He did the blackout, and then he realized, hey, that's not working again because this anti-consumeristic garbage, it's not working out well for my business. So we went WrestleMania 32, WrestleMania 33, WrestleMania 34, WrestleMania 35, WrestleMania 36. There was no blackout needed for that. The whole world was blacked out during that time. But he did it once, and he saw it didn't work. TKO and WWE are doing this after they already saw it didn't work again. So if they're going to a watch party because they didn't want to go to the arena in the first place, that probably means they weren't going to go in the first place if they're going to a watch party. But now, since they're not going to a watch party, they're either going to watch it, at home, or, they're not going to the arena, because if they were going to go to the arena, their ticket would have been purchased by now. It's kind of counterproductive. You're running away your audience for no reason. Actually, hold up. Look, I got some for this, actually. I think you should see them about now. Some little screenshots that I took of Ticketmaster, because I wasn't going to put a whole video of me going through Ticketmaster tickets and stuff, but that thing is patchier than KSI's beard. So that they're going to shift everybody to one spot. They're probably going to have it tarped off, and they're going to say, well, or what they'll do is they'll have a giant curtain or a giant tarp where the stage is, to make excuses and say, well, yeah, we just didn't sell this because, the stage, even though that it's because nobody wanted to come to the show. So that's probably what they're going to do for the Elimination Chamber this year and WrestleMania, because for some reason TKO refuses. Man, I swear, Vince selling TKO is the worst thing he's ever done. And this is coming from somebody who was around during the 2019 era. But this TKO stuff, man, I don't know what's worse, 2019 or TKO. There's a lot of stuff that's not, dude, this is insane. Wow. Yeah, but for your tickets not to move, no, for your tickets to move is at zero movement. There was zero movement even when they were on sale. That's crazy. That's crazy. Man, I don't know. See, I think that, I'm not gonna lie though, like, since they're running it back, and just because that's where their little headquarters is or might be, that it was a horrible business move. But I truly think not robbing New Orleans, Louisiana, and having it in NOLA, I think that would have been a bit more helpful for their ticket sales. I mean, TKO is going to TKO. They don't care about the consumers, only about the bottom dollar. I mean, they even said, I think it was Mark Shapiro who said, well, Vince, he modeled the ticket prices to be more affordable for families, and we try to price you out. So he tried to make Vince, being charitable to the consumer as a diss. And that was such a weird diss. You gave this dude a compliment. Mark Shapiro doesn't know anything, though, because he's the same person who said Nick Khan and Triple H invented WrestlePalooza. But I think that if they would have ran it back, no, not run it back. If they would have had WrestleMania 42 at New Orleans, Louisiana, like they originally said they were going to do, I think it was February 11th or February 19th of 2025. The Rock came out. He was talking about, Cody Soul, and then he was talking about, promoting WrestleMania 42 in New Orleans, Louisiana. I think that would have been cool to have that again. Because I think the last time we had that was April 8th, 2018, when it was WrestleMania 34. But I think a change of environment and change of scenery would have freshened things up. Even if the WrestleMania 42 season is atrocious and it's got no stars having any idea what they're doing, you got stars being injured back to back. You got Braun Strowman, you got Braun Breaker, all these people being injured. Even you don't really have a plan as to whether you want LA Knight or Oba to take on Brock or Gunther, so I mean, it's a whole mess. This WrestleMania season is not, it's just like last year's WrestleMania season. It was atrocious too. And then we had two Royal Rumble winners who were not the best picks. So yeah, I don't have any faith in things going well for WrestleMania 42. They didn't even have a plan for the women's champion, Jade Cargill. They still don't have a plan for her. They just got, her teasing going against another heel. Liv Morgan is a heel, and we all know it. And she's worked better as a heel. So to have them even teasing that, I don't know, man. But let me know what you think about how this WrestleMania season is going. Let me know what you think about the Elimination Chamber. Elimination Chamber is not looking too good. I can't believe they're doubling down. They said, look, it didn't work for this. The blackouts aren't working for it's not making our audience happy for WrestleMania, but we're just going to do the same thing because we're desperate. We need people at these shows. You would have people at the shows if, first of all, whenever I talk about ticket prices, I bring up creative, and I bring up the booking, and people are like, well, don't you know that, TKO isn't in charge of booking? That's a different thing. If anyone's using their brain, it hurts the show attendance if the show is overpriced. But if the show has a terrible build, weird card, mid presentation, you think that's going to be good too? I mean, come on now. People just don't use their brains, or they just don't really want to think like that. And that's fine, People are optionally stupid. Like, they choose to be dumb because they know that, if you criticize their company, you're either a hater, even though that, you're only criticizing it because you care. You've been watching it all your life. So any different opinion is not a disagreement. It's hating or reaching. I got called a reacher because I said, hey, well, probably not Jack Reacher, but I got called a reacher because I said, yeah, probably, WrestleMania 42 and Elimination Chamber 2026 aren't doing well because of the lack of idea on what they're doing for the show, but also because of the ticket prices. People are just saying, no, it's just the ticket prices. But I'm like, if you look at who's gonna pay an arm and a leg to go to a show where you're gonna fall asleep at, or not even know what's going on, or not even like what's on the card? People just discount creative all the time and just blame ticket prices. Like, no, creative has something to do with it too. If there's no intrigue or interest to the show in the first place, ticket prices aren't going to help, So let me know what you think down in the comments below about these blackouts. And yeah, until next time, see you.